conversations on very interesting developments. One of such being the military officer who assaulted some individuals at the pharmacy at the Burma camp. On the table as well, a member of parliament is here, so perhaps we'll ask him why MPs are absenting themselves and it's causing the house not to be able to conduct business because there's quorum concern. But yesterday as well, the special prosecutor said investigations into SML done and dusted. He will be charging some 6 individuals. That's what we'll start off from for us this morning. But let me say a good morning to David Theophilus Dominic Vondi. He's a member of parliament for Chifu Etimokwa. He's joining us in studio. Honorable, good morning to you.
Good morning, my brother.
Then there's Emmanuel Kutin, a regular with us as always here this on the 3FM Sunrise. He's executive director of the Africa Center for Security and Counter-Extremism. Mr. Kutin, as always, a pleasure to have you join us.
Thank you for having me.
And then Austin Bracco Powers, a private legal practitioner as well, is a regular as well here on the 3FM Sunrise Council. Good morning to you as well.
Very good morning.
I trust that the night has been kind to all of us as we're gathered here this morning.
We're enjoying the country so far, so.
If you say you're enjoying the country so far, then you're giving plaudits to...
Oh, yeah. I want to feel that at least they are doing well. At least we can give them some credit.
Some credit.
It's not just the feeling that we're doing well. The reality is that we're doing extremely well. Unless, of course, you don't want to tell the truth. But if you want to tell the truth, I believe that council and my good friend will want to do so. I mean, I think that growing up, I hardly heard that the CD had
outperformed the dollar in terms of ending the year and all of that.
One of the things that I witnessed was when wanted to deal with the CD-dollar relation and would have to, do these CD revaluation,
the redenomination, which was
redenomination and all that. That's what I heard. But for CD to climb to 18 Ghana cedis to $1, and within less than 1 year, ATO is forcing and reduced the impact of the dollar.
I like the rest.
Absolutely.
What a good jargon.
And the dollar now is selling at a rate of 10.25 thereabout.
In fact,
I don't think that it has happened before.
In fact, yesterday I paid my fees. And when I did the transfers, I was shocked. I saved over 20,000 cedis.
And that is what we call good governance.
So around the table, there's
No. These are realities you don't need to struggle to explain.
The thing is that, it's... If maybe you just don't want to be grateful if you don't acknowledge some of rules by the government.
Yeah,
the thing is, let it be permanent.
The thing is that we
don't want it to be cosmetic.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't be a 9-day wonder.
No, we just pray the policies will be strategically implemented.
Yeah,
to get the right thing.
Right. Let's talk OSP. I think it's the biggest conversation from yesterday. These are the individuals. 6 persons to be charged. Kenneth Nana Oforiata is a former finance minister. Ernest Akori is the chef de cabinet to Ms. Oforiata at the time he was the finance minister. Emmanuel Kofi Nti is a former commissioner general of the Ghana Revenue Authority. There's Amisha Dai Usuamwa Reverend, is also a former commissioner general of the Ghana Revenue Authority. There's Isaac Crenstill, is a former commissioner of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority and currently the general manager of SML Ghana Limited. Then there's Kojo Damwa is a former commissioner of Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority and a member of Parliament for German South constituency as well. Yesterday we had the special prosecutor speak. said that, explained in great detail. I don't know if any of us caught it, but I was there seated when he was addressing the entire country, and he explained the genesis of how all of this happened, stating that this was well crafted amongst many other things by the former finance minister. He hatched the plot and saw it all come into fruition. We've been getting responses from some of the lawyers of Mr. Ofori-Atta as well, who say that, look, this has been much ado about nothing from the onset up until now. And for some as well, disappointed with the work that the OSP has done because some of these individuals are no longer in the country. I want to start off from you, Mr. Kuti, as to what you've made of all of this, from when Mr. Ofori-Atta was declared wanted, a fugitive from justice, up until now that these revelations have come forth. Enough been done by the OSP to begin to bring back confidence, because he's been under a lot of pressure.
Well, Marina, thank you for having me once again. Good morning to my co-panelists and to our cherished listeners as always. Because of them, we are here. So salute everybody wherever you are around the world listening to us. In fact, I think the OSP has not performed well at all. If you look at the office and the amount of resources we have allocated to the office of the special prosecutor and the level of prosecution so far, I think that we need to have a rethink about the act altogether. You know, it was not long before there was tension between the office and the Attorney General's office over the docket that would trigger the extradition of the former finance minister. I heard him clearly yesterday talking about personalities and the way they want to do their things, and not necessarily disagreement between the institutions. I don't think we put him there for personality clash and how you want to do your stuff. We want our institutions to work, and our democracy is in decline primarily because of corruption.
Right.
And if you look at Africa, if we don't take time, democracy will not stand the test of time. And it may crumble primarily because of corruption. Look, these monies are taxpayers' money. We need to know what these people in authority are doing with our money.
Right.
And if I were Ken Ofori-Atta, the former finance minister, and I know I've not done anything wrong, I would have come back to defend myself. It's simple as ABC, because he is creating a certain pageantry that will damage his image and that of his children. And if you look at what is ahead in the future, it will not look good for the family. That we had a former finance minister who has been declared a fugitive from justice, and he's not willing to turn himself in. If you have not done anything wrong, why are you running away?
Yeah.
In the history of our fourth Republican Constitution, I've never seen any of our finance minister running away. It means that there is something in the pot. So the cosmetic things the OSP is doing, you say you are going to charge these people in November. Go ahead and do the charges. It is in the courtroom these things will play out, not press conferences and this kind of things. How many press conferences has the OSP not done? What has come out of those things? And you see, the duplication of duties.
Right.
And I think the problem came from the act establishing the OSP. I'm not a lawyer. The lawyer is here. You know, at the time, we were sensationalizing the thing as if we need to give the OSP an autonomy, and he was an omnibus person that can go and get anybody. But if you look at best practices everywhere around the world, the special prosecutor cannot be bigger than the Attorney General or the Attorney General's office. Because from the scheme of things, it's the Attorney General that will trigger the extradition request. Is that not it?
Yeah.
The OSP cannot do same. Bring the docket. Why is the docket not coming forth? And we move from one thing to another. Now is the SML. And if you look at the SML's case, it's simple as ABCD. You engage a company for revenue assurance. You do investigation, you realize that the company didn't even have the necessary tools to do that. It's just like engaging the carpenter to come and roof your house. The carpenter comes and doesn't have the nails and the hammer. How would the carpenter be able to roof the house? And a lot of money were expended. And the good people of this country have to know, if for nothing at all, for our transparency drive, it builds trust among the citizenry. And this is how democracy works. And I'm just afraid, like I mentioned earlier, if we don't take time, I think we may have to coin our own version of democracy that work for us as Africans. Sometimes if you look at benevolent dictators, they do better than our so-called Democrats. Look at Burkina Faso. Look at what Touare is doing. Look at Rwanda. Our so-called democracy, Ghana for instance, what we have been able to do merely is to go every 4 years and change leaders. Look at the myriad of corruptions and allegations of corruption we hear every now and then. You don't see anybody get punished for it. So you see that it is in the increase. Look at the amount of money that is alleged to have been embezzled by these officers. The last time we went to IMF, is not for $3 billion. Look at the conditionalities they gave us. And the insult of it was that they had to bring a representative to come and sit at our finance ministry and teach us how to run our own finances. Is that the independence we sought? So what is wrong with the black man? So to me, the issues are clear. He should go ahead and charge them. I think we have to do a balancing act. Coming to the public to let the public know is good for democracy in the spirit of transparency and building trust. But at the same time, Kenuforiata's lawyers will argue that if you have a case against my client, go to court and
we'll see that. We'll see
that these things will span.
We'll see that right away because Kind Ketsi, another station here in Accra, one of the lawyers, Frank Davis, has been speaking and says coming to narrate and talk long and needless English is a conviction in itself. He, the special prosecutor, says he's going to charge him for Oforiatta. He should go ahead and stop this gimmicking.
You see what I was talking about.
Is this the first time the OSP has come out to say something about Ken Oforiatta? He asks a question. There's a bit more. Once upon a time, what did he tell us? That Oforiatta should either come to the country or we would force his entry. I mean, come on. Amateurish and childish fights. That's a description.
So this
let me tell you, Kenneth Yao, Kenneth Nanaya Kuntun Kununku Oforiatta is not afraid of prosecution. Let the car roll for the OSP. The accused person will have his vehicle. So let's stop this theatrics. Frank Davis there is lawyer.
Is that Frank Davis?
Yes.
Mawena, to conclude, just look at the response an alleged criminal's lawyer is given to the OSP. It means our OSP is a toothless bulldog. He can bite. And this is not the first time this lawyer has spoken in
such a manner towards the office.
Towards him. What has he done about it? Look, I am beginning to feel that the OSP need to be watched carefully. For all you know, he's playing politics around us and is in bed with Ken Oforiatta. If for nothing at all, he knows he has nothing to hide. He should give the docket to the special prosecutor, to the Attorney General's office. Then they'll trigger his extradition request. Putting somebody on the
Interpol red
tape means nothing.
Let me bring in Honorable Vondi because there are those who say that, look, this has taken too long, this investigation, and some even dare to say that the OSP perhaps was not doing anything until the start of this year in relation to this matter because this has taken too long and there's too much talk.
Well, let me say good morning to our very cherished listeners and viewers on other platforms, social media platforms, and my mom, Professor Nana Opoku-Adjoin, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. I think that my personal observation of the special prosecutor's office, and especially the special prosecutor Ajabeng, some of his actions could be described as an exercise in what I call fluoxetine inhaliplication.
That's a lot of English. That's a lot of English.
You calm down small.
You should calm down small.
We are hugging his face now. Calm down to our level.
A simple means that some of his actions are becoming more of, getting busy in doing so many things that means nothing.
Yeah.
That means nothing. And I think that we are critically watching him now, critically observing him now. I think he's talking too much. And his talks are not matching the actions that we expect him to be taking. I think that if you want to declare somebody a fugitive, I'm not a practicing lawyer yet anyway. If you want to declare somebody a fugitive, there are so many reasons somebody who is actually running away from going to court for criminal proceedings to continue, somebody who is actually broken jail, somebody is not ready, who have fled the country knowing that there will be prosecution against him. You cannot find the person's location. Then you declare the person a fugitive. You have an individual, Ken Oforiatta, whom we all know that is in the United States of America,
right,
who claim to be attending hospitals and will give you so many dates for surgery. It means that this is not an individual you cannot locate.
Right.
This is an individual that you know where he is. So declaring him a fugitive, letting everybody feel in this country that you cannot locate Oforiatta in itself was an exercise in no meaning. I mean, an exercise in maybe throwing some jargons at us and doing nothing about the whole situation. Because if you are interested in arresting Oforiatta, you just get the authorities of the United States of America that this is our man with you. We want him, and he will be brought to this country. So for me, declaring Oforiatta as a fugitive in itself, I think that the OSP may, by actions, be helping him to hide. And that is number one. Point number two, I think that the allegations that are being made, the investigations that are ongoing about the just past administration is becoming worrying, and it's becoming so, and I am afraid for tomorrow. Because when you are given the position to handle, this economy, and this is the level of thievery that we are hearing, the allegations and what the authorities are bringing up. I listened to the Attorney General, the very able Attorney General, Dr. Yini, on his press conference, and the kind of revelations and the kind of things he was saying, the kind of monies that he was mentioning, and even the OSP himself, the kind of monies that they are mentioning that were stolen by individuals of Akufo-Addo's administration. It's worrying. I mean, it's getting me really frightening.
And for those of you watching on Facebook, you see some of the listed scandals, the high-profile cases.
Mustafa, for example, this is a man who cried, shouting that this country, the administration of His Excellency Mahama's first administration, 2016, was muddied, was dirty, was the corruption took. I mean, was crowded with corruption.
Wallahi, we need to
save this country. We need to clean this country, and was faking crying. You remember all those days? This guy was faking to even cry when he held some press conferences. At the time, he was talking for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Little did I believe, should anybody even think, have any dream that this is a guy that will be involved allegedly in this kind of corruption action, stealing,
still innocent until proven guilty.
Again, if you listen to me carefully, isn't it even worrying? Are you not even worried about the fact that his name is even mentioned, associated to that kind of millions of dollars and millions of Ghana cedis? Somebody who claimed to be angel, somebody who claimed to be cleaning a very dirty, muddied administration of His Excellency Don Dramani Mahama.
Who work with that is a
you don't feel threatened as a Ghanaian that your children are born into this country when an individual look, you know buffer stock, right? You know buffer stock,
the National Food Buffer Stock Company.
Okay. A very small organization, a very small, minute when you look at other things like administrations, like the ministries and so forth and so on, that should be a very small agency.
Under the
okay. And if an individual and the wife is alleged to have stolen that kind of money from that small organization, where is our moral right in this country?
Right.
So these are people that we put together to only steal and destroy the fabrics of this country and just get out of it as if there is no tomorrow. Unfortunately, they don't even steal with conscience. So these are the people we're dealing with. Again, for prosecution, I agree with Dr. Yeni that they say you don't want to put these people to court and then they have a way of running away.
It's the same argument.
So hold on.
The special prosecutor is making, that he has to get it right.
For me, getting it right, taking time to get it right, I am all for it. You see, you are dealing with a group of people who are confidential tricksters.
Very sophisticated.
These are sophisticated confidential tricksters who have so many lawyers among them who've practiced over the years how to steal and cover. And so you need so many tactics and professionalism to be able to uncover them and deal with them according to the law. And so for me, taking time to dig them and to bring them to book, for me, yes, I'm a Ghanaian. I want them to face the music as early as possible. But you see, it will be suicidal to put them to court when your evidence are not accurate and then they run away. That would be suicidal. So for me, let's have time. But look, whatever it takes, knowing Dr. Yeni, he's my personal lawyer, he will do the job.
Right.
I know that.
Let's bring in the lawyer now, and we're talking the OSP and the revelations from his press conference yesterday. If there's one thing, counsel, that there has been debate over the last 6 months, was why the OSP had not gone to court if he says he wanted Mr. Ofori-Atta. In fact, it was one of the arguments the lawyers of Mr. Ofori-Atta had made, that charge him. If you say you have a case against him, charge him and take him to court. Even now, as we're being told that investigations has concluded, the OSP says up until the end of November is when the charges will come through. Talk to us about that first, and then the concern which is being raised that charging the individual is not taking them to court. That can be done by any institution, and so that as well doesn't mean much.
Eric, I think I understand the concerns of Ghanaians and the criticism so far that have been leveled against the Office of the Special Prosecutor. I mean, they are genuine,
right?
Because these are institutions funded by public funds, and we want to see some level of effectiveness. But, we always see the wheels of justice grind slowly. And as you hinted at, it is important not to charge people when in the final analysis you lose the case. You have to do a thorough work. I think it will be misleading for anybody to say that the OSP has not done anything within the space of maybe from January to October. It will be very misleading, because when you look at the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act 2017, Act 959, the function of the OSP is not a partisan one. It's a political one. So unlike the office of the Attorney General, which is a partisan institution occupied by someone who is partisan, the office of the Special Prosecutor is a political institution, not partisan. So what you would ordinarily expect the Attorney General to do, and in fact what he is doing.
Do you mean a public institution, not partisan?
It's a public institution.
I said it's a political institution. It's a political institution, so it's a public institution.
Okay.
But not a partisan institution. So it is not. It was not set up.
It's not subject to change
politics.
and when. Yeah.
And the Special Prosecutor is not expected to dabble in politics, petty partisan politics, as we normally have it in this country.
Yeah.
So you will not expect him to follow the trajectory being taken by the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayeni.
Right.
Ayeni can do all the politics. And Eric, you and I have had a string of discussions on this.
On that matter, whether
I'm not in support of his utterances. He's entitled to tell Ghanaians what he's doing, but certain prejudicial commentaries must stop. The OSP, unfortunately, even though the OSP is not supposed to be partisan, he is beginning to speak and use certain words that are characteristics of Dr. Ayeni, so that you have evidence that you can be successful in court. Sometimes these are prejudicial commentary, because you are not in a position to determine even the admissibility of your own evidence. It is a court decision. You get it? And it's even subject to the opposition of the other party. But Eric, here's the thing. The OSP has 2 elections. He could decide either to charge Ken Oforiatta in his absence and even proceed with the matter in court, or decide to extradite him to the country and charge him officially. He has chosen to follow the extradition process. That is his election.
Right.
So we cannot fault him, because he is entitled to. When you read section 2.3 of Act 959, he has a string of functions to investigate and prosecute. And also, so in prosecuting, he has decided that he wants to follow the extradition process. And, he said something. I know people are pressurizing him to send a docket to
the Attorney
General. He is saying that there's been new development, or there's been a new development. And because of that, I decided to investigate that or follow the trail and have a comprehensive report, so that I will send it to the Attorney General. Is it a difficult thing to say, or is it too difficult to comprehend? I think this should be simple. The Attorney General may be under all the pressure, because he's a party. But the
OSP is also under pressure.
The OSP must not be under pressure. That's what I'm saying. That Eric. That's what I'm saying. That the OSP, unfortunately, is beginning to speak like the Attorney General, and that is bad for his office. Because you must be a political institution. Don't be partisan. Because see, when you engage in partisan politics, you lose the confidence of the people. You must be neutral. Prosecute your duties. Be like a judge. People are pressurizing you get it. You get it. Be like a judge. Because judges, despite voting, they are entitled to. They take decisions based on the remit of the law.
Right.
Their decisions are circumscribed. In fact, when a judge stray, that is why we have the Apex Court. The Apex Court has the power to supervise any judge that stray from the law. So I think the OSP is following the process. He should not allow the partisan pressure coming from the grassroots of the NDC to compel him to do a shoddy work. Eric, that would be a dangerous thing for us. The OSP must do a dutiful work, because you are dealing with the rights of people, the fundamental freedoms and rights of people. If you claim you have evidence against somebody, it means that you have evidence against a person's freedom and right. Because if you are successful in court, what does it mean? The person could face a jail time, and that will affect the person's right of movement. So fundamental freedoms and rights are significant. So in dealing with matters like that, you must be careful. In fact, you must be cautiously optimistic and careful so that you don't err and get an innocent party in prison. So, Eric, the thing is that the extradition process takes a very, very, very long time.
Not on the extradition process. If you say you've had a case against him, go to court. It's what Frank Davis is telling him now, that he's been making noise since March. If you say you've had something on him, why haven't you gone to court since then? And even now, you're not saying you're going to court, you're going to charge him. And there are those who say that, look, this has taken too long a time in terms of the investigation, because the petition came in 2023, thereabout. Dare I say, there was no action at all on the part of the OSP until, so if you recall, when he addressed a press conference for the first time and declared Ken Ofori-Atta a fugitive of justice, people asked, did you wait for the MPP to leave power before you could find your voice? And then there are those who are of that opinion as well. Reason why they are saying that perhaps the office is not living up to expectations.
No, that's what I'm saying, that people are entitled to criticize the Office of the Special Prosecutor, because why? It is public funds that is being used to fund them. He's driving in public vehicles purchased by
Public funds.
public funds.
Yes,
You get it. And so I think they have a legitimate concern. But the thing is that the OSP should not buckle under pressure. The OSP must do its work. And Eric, I've hinted that the OSP has decided to follow the extradition process. He knows why he wants to follow that process. And the thing is that...
But does he have the power to... Is it not Attorney General's office?
No, so the thing is, he has to send the docket to the Attorney General.
Attorney General said bring the docket.
That's what I'm saying, that
Docket's not coming.
the OSP has explained that... You remember they released the media reports. After releasing the media report, they said they were going to send a docket to the Attorney General. But they later chanced on a new development.
Well, they went in to search their SML offices and others, discovered hard drives, communication, and all of that.
So they had different information, which led them to even to dig deeper into the investigation. That was why they delayed in sending the docket to the Attorney General. The Attorney General was right to say that you didn't bring it to me, but they are saying that they are supposed to do the investigation and send it to you. And Eric, they are explaining that it took that long because we want to get things right, and we had new development. So when we are done, we will send it to you. I think the Attorney General should not have any difficulty or qualms about this.
I need some education on one thing. If you have an established evidence over one aspect of the investigation for which you triggered the process to put him on the red notice of Interpol, and you stumble with another evidence, can't you continue with the first one once you investigate the other, or they are interlinked?
No, you see,
you see the challenge.
But let me respond to you. The extradition process, like I said earlier, is not a simple one, because you must convince the U.S. government.
Yes, so the first
which is the more
case
so you
met that threshold.
No, it does not.
No, it did.
No, the Interpol red notice
the Interpol red notice is looking for the individual and saying we can't find
different.
him. So
the
bring
Interpol
him
red notice is different. Does not even the threshold for extradition process is high, because they have to make sure that one of the things the U.S. government would insist on is that they want to look at the matters and find out if it is not politically motivated, and that is one of the crucial threshold that this government must meet.
Look at how we gave our citizens away.
It wasn't politically motivated.
No, the thing is that
we have made a trade-off.
Eric,
it was a missed opportunity.
No, it's a different thing. If you have extradited your people to them, don't forget that we didn't do that without going to court. We went to court.
No, some elected to go. It's only a few who fought it.
No, but the process was taken to court.
Exactly.
And
the process has to be sanctioned by the court. Do you understand? Because nobody can come and say, I'm taking you away. No.
But why is our process not so cumbersome like their own.
That should be a different.
Our systems are not working. Also,
we should have
that should be a different argument.
Away just but like that. When we are looking for our citizens,
then
we are measuring us with a different scale.
Let me explain.
We are all sovereign countries. For
this should be an argument on its own.
Right.
But on the international plane, extradition process is cumbersome. It is not a given. You don't just say, I want this person, and the other government will give it to you. You have to satisfy the threshold.
Who triggered the issue with Sedinam? Was it the special prosecutor or the attorney general?
Yeah, I think Sedinam had to do with the attorney because she's been sentenced.
But she was here. Don't forget that
she was here when the trial started, and then she subsequently left
for medical treatment and didn't
she's never returned.
So you see, I believe in equity, Mawina. You see, this is somebody who has been convicted already. Same taxpayers' money, right? So what are we talking about? The government should equally initiate steps. Governance is a continuous process. It shouldn't be the case that
Sedinam should be brought back as well.
Honestly.
Eric, so this is the underlining thing. The process is cumbersome. Let's allow the system to flow. The OSP must not
buckle under the pressure.
He's supposed to be a neutral individual. If he wants to command the respect of Ghanaians, he should do a dutiful work.
This guy been appointed as OSP?
Pardon?
It's been 4 years.
Yes.
4 years
plus.
No.
Oh, but he has. Is that not? But why do you want?
Cases has he announced
Eric
and held press?
The thing is that
that's what the attorney general did. That's what the attorney general did.
No, let's not be.
Some of us are not happy.
No, that's a different issue.
Look, Eric, we want to see
let's not be under the misapprehension. Let's not be under the misapprehension that the OSP's duty is to prosecute and jail people. When you read at 959, specifically section 3, it says what? Recovery.
So if you recover,
and you see, you have acknowledged that.
But he's not even reporting to us the kind of amount of money.
He reported. Someone took 35,000 and returned 200,000 cedis to the state.
35,000 Ghana cedis.
Yes, that's what the person enjoyed. But in the plea deal, the person paid 200,000 cedis to the state, and so that was substantial.
That's small money. We are talking about the millions of dollars.
No,
why do we chase the small flies? Is it the case that in this country?
But do we have categories of categories of corruption?
Corruption is
categories of corruption.
Corruption is corruption.
Corruption is corruption.
Right. But so around this table, around this table, there's a general understanding that there needs to be a lot more done in terms of the work that's been put in by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Granted, investigations take time.
Exactly.
And it's been something that's been hammered by both the Attorney General and then the Special Prosecutor as well.
Exactly.
Investigations take time.
Exactly.
But in doing this, we're running thin the patience of the Ghanaian.
Exactly.
Who is demanding that some action be taken. And this is no fault of the current Special Prosecutor, but that office has been in existence for, is it 8 years?
Yes.
8 years or so, and people are beginning to ask questions that where are the prosecutions? Where are the individuals who are alleged to have stolen our monies and not brought in anything?
Eric,
and so even if we stay on this subject matter alone, people will say that it's too much talk. And when we open the phone lines today, that was the narrative. Too much talk.
Eric, quick response. Quick response. I think the OSP is not communicating enough to the public, particularly with regards to what they have done. Because on this table, there was a casting doubt as to what the OSP has done, whether the OSP has even secured a conviction. The plea bargaining is conviction. The plea bargaining is you admitting
that's conviction.
That's conviction.
About lawyers is that they will never point their left finger to three things: judges, their colleagues, lawyers, and legal parastatals. They don't point their left finger. I can understand the difficulty. But don't forget, we are in a democracy. Power resides from the people. We can talk the legal jargons, but the reality is there. And if we don't act in anticipation about the people's anger, the suffering of the ordinary Ghanaian, this country could explode. These monies we are allegedly talking about could build schools,
Yes.
could build hospitals, could do our roads. Look at what happened in other jurisdictions, my brother. The French president. Is he not in jail?
No, but is he, Eric?
But in this country, what I've realized is that it's
up.
difficult to prosecute politicians. It's not only the instant cases we are talking about. Look at the Fourth Republican Constitution. It's only the unlucky ones who didn't go for good lawyers who get done in. So it's about time we set up specialized courts to streamline this time wasting and make sure we have.
Eric, just round up for me, and then I'll ask the Honorable Vondi on the special court, because it was a promise the president has made as well, which we've not seen come. Just
Eric, the thing is that is it compulsory to prosecute somebody if there's no evidence? Must you prosecute the person or jail the person if you don't have any evidence? I think we should begin to have some patience when it comes to the legal process, because you see, you do not ordinarily want to jail an innocent person,
right?
And in seeking justice, you must make sure that you respect that other person's rights. That's why when you read Article 19, it says fair trial. The person must be given or afforded adequate facility to mount his or her own defense. I think the OSP has done well, but there's a lot more to do. And I also agree that the OSP must communicate whatever they have done, particularly the convictions they have secured so far. However minor they may be, the OSP must communicate that information to the public, so that there will be some set of the public who have some confidence that the OSP is working. But the OSP must not dabble in the petty partisan politics that the Attorney General is doing.
Right. Thank you very much, Austin. And let me return to you, Honorable Vondi. Around the table, there's been that conversation, and a lot more needs to be done. In roping in what the OSP found out and oral, specialized courts, tribunals, and what have you. Your government promised the good people of Ghana that they are looking forward to that, because they believe that will be one of the easiest ways to fast track these court processes. Yet we haven't heard much.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, and I don't think that it is wrong to establish a special court to look at special issues. You remember President Kufuor's.
It is wrong.
I don't think it is wrong. I don't think it is wrong to establish a court, special court, to look at specific issues that are in interest to the country. I mean, you remember President Kufuor's time when this fast track high court was established, and but those ones, I believe that it was more of a political prosecutions and persecutions here and there. Remember Chachuti Kata's issue, where he had to go to court, declare the courts unconstitutional, and Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo would have to repanel. President Kufuor at the time, and Nana was Attorney General then, would have to repanel the court in order to get a conviction at all cost. When we believe that the Chachu did nothing wrong at the time, So those are the things that we saw. The intent expressed by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to establish a special court to deal with these issues, I don't think that is wrong. I hope and pray. Of course, I'm not the president. I don't think that I control his itinerary as to do at what time. But I know about his, genuine intentions that he wants to establish those courts for. I believe that he will. And some of these things, I believe that you don't need to let corruption cases stay in court more than a year. Sometimes you dilute the whole thing. And in any unlikely events that there is any change of government, you are likely to lose the merits of some of those cases, and some of those guys may just be left off the hook. And so And we're able to establish courts that looks at those things specifically and gives more attention to it in order to, if you like, run the process a little more faster. I think it's good for the country. Fighting corruption at all levels, I think that I'll go for. So let's look for it. I'm sure those things would really happen.
We're doing 21 minutes to the top of the hour. We still have two more issues to tackle. First off is MP absenteeism. Before we talk the security situation, the military man who was caught assaulting some individuals. Since you're the MP, we just want to switch lanes quickly and begin to talk about that. Absenteeism. Why is this becoming a problem? I had the majority chief whip speak to the fact that committees were sitting when the House was sitting as well, and it was a part of the reason why we're seeing what we're supposed to be seeing. But should people be losing their seats? Because the Constitution spells that out quite clearly.
There is already an established rule, provision in our standing orders, that kills these, abnormalities where you have 14, if you like, working days when you absent yourselves without any explanations. Our standing orders provides that you automatically would have vacated your seat. Again, there are other provisions like when you are in a party to Parliament and you declare your allegiance for different party, or you go
that became a subject of Supreme Court interpretation.
Where some interpretations with the greatest respect to the Supreme Court, my personal views were different in those interpretations and other interpretations on a member presiding to even have voting rights. I mean, I had my personal.
No, that is Justice Abdullahi.
I had my personal.
That's just the Justice Abdullahi case.
A view about that. But look, members of Parliament, I think that reasonably we should attend Parliament and do parliamentary business.
Right.
Again, there are so many other things we do outside Parliament, the floor, of Parliament, which of course are all parliamentary duties. And I'll give you a typical example. I was in Geneva, Switzerland with Mr. Speaker, when Parliament was reopened. So Mr. Speaker would have to, left us there and would have to attend to Parliament for the reopening of Parliament. Me and IPU were there, representing the country. I co-hosted the climate change section, with UK and Germany, co-hosted it. That fact that I was not singing in Parliament during those 3 days does not mean that I was not doing parliamentary work. Okay,
but the speaker was notified.
Absolutely.
Right.
Again, there are but you see, the media will look into my seat and say I was not seated, and the media will conclude by saying that Vondi was not in Parliament. For me, I think that you guys are doing a good job, but sometimes for you to publish things like that, try and ask why you are not in Parliament.
In this case,
find out
why you're not in Parliament. But in this case, the House in itself has issued, was it a statement or something, which captures MPs who have absented themselves without authorization from the Speaker.
Again, I am not endorsing that. I think that is a worry.
It is not.
I think that is a worry for the majority leader and majority chief whip, even Mr. Speaker himself. I think that there are so many reasons why some MPs may not be in Parliament, like I talked about. It is not something we want to celebrate. Yesterday, for example, we were in Parliament. When quorum was raised, when it was checked, it was, the MPP and my good friend, what's the name? Habib was just doing some propaganda with the situation, because you see, when they checked the number in Parliament, we're more than 150 seated at the time when he called for quorum. And so, for me, some of them are political, games that we are playing. Okay, let us tell the people that NDC had super majority but not coming to parliament. Maybe they don't need a seat, and therefore next time paying for them and all that. Again, like I said, there are so many reasons why somebody may not come to parliament. I am not endorsing that. Everybody should hear me out. I am not endorsing that. But if there are genuine reasons why the person is not in parliament and the speaker is notified accordingly, like the example I cited on myself when I was in Geneva, I mean, these are genuine reasons. But once you're a member of parliament and parliament is in section, you are mandated. In any case, when you look to the micro minority side yesterday, they were not in parliament too. And so for me, again, they would like
someone will say you are equalizing the fact that you were not there.
Exactly. So that's not what I intend to do. So for me, yes, we should come to parliament and do parliamentary business, and that's what we're voted for.
Would anybody be wrong if they look at these numbers, you not turning up, and then they want to contrast it with the speaker saying, let's give MPs, let's look for a way to give them leave days as MPs. I'll come to you.
I think that quickly, that I don't think is anything we should, because you see...
because people will look at it and say, you are not coming to the house already. Why should we be giving you leave? That's something anybody should say. So and would they be wrong if they said that? Because this has come from the house in itself, and this is not the media. We were there, and then Parliament, the matter came up that quorum. Then the records of the house also shows that people are not attending without permission from the speaker.
I think when you take the attendance record, when you take the vote and proceedings, you realize that many MPs come to Parliament. The record will show that some attend to other businesses like committee meetings and all that. For me, what I think we should look at is that committee meetings vis-a-vis parliamentary sittings, would want to look at the timing so that we try to shift committee meetings to, timing that, Parliament is not proceeding. I think these are some of the things we should be thinking about, and I believe that will be fine. But hey, I mean, there are some genuine reasons why somebody may not be in Parliament. In as much as I'm not endorsing, staying
absentee. Mr. Kuti, with what's playing out, do they have a genuine case when they say they should be given leave right now? Just do this for me briefly.
Marina, you see, we have to really thank the Speaker, Gbagbe. I think he has put the nation first. He has been a legislator himself for a very long time.
He's been in all of the parliaments. In seven he was a member, and the last two he's been speaker.
So you see, if he hadn't directed that this record should be made public, we wouldn't have known. And you see, there are a lot of things. One, the amount of resources we spend campaigning to become an MP is so huge that people become disillusioned when reality dawns on them.
But there's nothing in it.
There is practically nothing in it. You take your salary and other things. Unless, of course, you're a business person, and he knows. And I feel so sad for the NDC MPs because they have overwhelming majority, and many of them were coming with the expectation that they may catch the eye of the president and get a minister or deputy minister appointment. Unfortunately, the presidents went for a lean government. So a lot of them are frustrated. They are not even able to pay their bills. I'm telling you, look, I contested election as an independent candidate in Sabuba. And I will tell you that I spent over 4 million Ghana cedis in that election. So just imagine, how much is the pay of an MP? So if you don't have this money and you go to borrow the money, and now you are sitting in parliaments and calls are coming, you have to run around. That's why many of the MPs are running to the board, some being board chairman and those kind of things. Boards, the speaker raised a very profound issue, whether parliamentarians should be allowed to serve on government boards, because you told
he rejected a board position because he said it was going to be conflicting.
So you have elected that you want to come and serve your people, you want to come and represent them in parliament. So why are you not coming to parliament? And you see the overall effect of it.
You see that I was seated in parliament.
You see the overall effect of it. The excuse that there are other works at committee level at committee level, beyond the sitting at the preliminary, it's neither here or there. The rules are clear. When you have a committee meeting, what do? You come and sign in and go for your committee meeting. You'll be marked as present. If you are on international assignment like you were with the speaker in Geneva, everybody knows that you were in Geneva on behalf of Parliament. No one will mark you absent. But there are genuine concerns that most of your colleagues, out of disillusion and disappointment and the high expectation they had about the office of Parliament, they are now running away from that office because the heat that is coming on them is not a small heat. Right. So you know the overall effect. From the security point of view, when people begin to lose trust in our members of Parliament, we are weakening our institution of democracy.
Right.
And more often than not, you ask him, he's thinking about how to win the next election, not what is before him. And I'll tell you this story, Marina, it's quite pathetic. You know, when I contested the Sabuba seat and I was second, I instituted a scheme in the Wapuli area. And I said, for the fact that they gave me an overwhelming endorsement, I need to give back to that community. So I said, if anybody gets a snake bite, you'll be treated for free. And these are announced on the community FM station. I didn't hide it. And you see, we politicize everything. Anybody can fall a victim of snake bite.
Yeah.
So even people around surrounding communities even come and they benefit from it free of charge. Even people come from Gushegu to benefit from that scheme. As an indigenous of the North, I'm just giving back to my community. Then a DC is put in place, and the DC petitions the health director that there's a nurse in Wapuli, right, who is treating patients in the name of Emmanuel Coutin. They should get the guy transferred. So I was abroad when the information got to me. And the DC is my auntie, so I called him, he didn't pick. I called the health director, he picked and told me that he is not political, he's doing his routine transfers. But he wants to tell me that it's true that DC petitioned him on what I'm saying and they are investigating.
So there is an evidence of that petition.
There's an evidence of that petition. So
yes, you can say it, but if there is no evidence
of that petition,
you shouldn't say it, because then the guy is not here.
Let me tell you, I'm somebody, I will never come on air to make propaganda on serious issues like this. Right. If you've known my style, mine is to humanity. I don't discriminate. Today, they have asked the guy to hand over. And when the chief of the community even appealed to the district health director, he didn't mind the chief. Right. And he's even bringing a junior
to occupy that position.
To come and occupy that position. And if you know the Wapuli area, the population inside that Wapuli even qualified to be a district on its own. So why do we play politics on our health institutions? And when we traveled, we tried to buy this hospital.
But he's not here.
So we'll talk about it. So
we'll just leave that out.
John Dramani,
because he's not here.
I'll take this matter.
Yes. Council, speak to me on that. If you can, you share the petition with the producers, and then we can have a conversation. So MP's absenteeism, and then we'll talk the soldiers. Our time is almost.
Eric, I think we regards to the absenteeism of our MPs. One of the root causes is the provision in the constitution that a majority of the ministers must come from Parliament.
They are going to look for ways to catch the eye of the president.
I think it's one of the major root causes of the absenteeism. Because when you look at Article 78(1), it makes it clear. In fact, when you read the report of the Committee of Experts that proposed the 1992 Constitution, particularly pages 14, 15, and 16, they made it clear. They even suggested that the members of Parliament, there should be 60 ministers from Parliament.
60%?
60% ministers from Parliament. That is to say that 40% should come from outside Parliament. And but you see, the reason their reason for making that proposition was because of the 1979.
So the 79 and the history in relation
but
to
I think it's one of the root causes. And if we want to deal with that, the Constitutional Review Committee must tilt the balance.
The Constitutional Review Committee has a lot of work.
Yes, exactly. Because if we are to, and that, you see, the reason why we are always making suggestions to the Constitutional Review Committee is because we don't want
that's the only means which we can appropriate.
Exactly, that's the only means we can even plug back some of the powers we have given it to the president and some of the loopholes in the Constitution. But, Eric, the provision of Article 97(1)(c) does not operate automatically. The fact that you've absented yourself for 15 times does not mean that you've automatically lost your seat.
You have to go to the Privileges Committee.
So first, if you have not written to the Speaker to seek permission, there's an option, the Parliamentary Committee on Privileges.
Yeah.
But don't forget that a declaration as to whether or not a member of Parliament has lost his seat is not a preserve of Parliament. It is the court. Look at Article 99. It says, the High Court shall have jurisdiction as to whether or not a member of Parliament has lost his seat.
Council, with the greatest of respect, you see, the parliamentary standing orders are clear, and the parliamentary provisions are clothed with same powers of High Court, or if you like, so
remember they make their own rules.
No, but don't forget.
Council is introducing another aspect to it, because all the while we've known that if you go before the Privileges Committee, they will not throw you out.
It is just
like that.
The Privileges Committee themselves do not have the powers to declare your seat vacant. It would have to come back to the preliminary for a decision.
Honorable, that's what I'm saying, that Parliament. That's
the entire house.
Will you give one of your own out?
Honorable, that's what I'm saying,
that's a conversation for another day.
That's what I'm saying, that the provision of Article 97 does not lie in the hands of Parliament to determine whether a seat has been lost.
It has to go. You believe it has to go?
Yes, by reason of Article 99. Don't forget, it was that issue, the issue that
whether or not the Speaker could declare seats vacant.
The Parliament cannot declare a seat vacant. It is only the
I'm sure
the
there'll be a forum for us to have this conversation, because if the provisions of the Constitution states it quite clearly,
and even quick one, the rules of Parliament cannot ride over the Constitution.
Override the Constitution. That
was the tension between the Speaker and the former Chief Justice, if you recall. When Afinyo ran on a Saturday morning,
So Eric, I maintain that this issue is a vexed one. The Speaker must not be in a haste as he was, as he was in 2024 , which
when he declared the seats.
But different scenario. But he has to do with members of Parliament losing their seat. But the thing is that the substance.
That's why I'm saying that this subject matter. Perhaps we have to have a conversation. We have to have a conversation as to whether or not, when the rule says that look, you lose the seat. Means the Speaker will make a determination that the seat, and then we'll have to take it to the court for that declaration to be made, or someone will have to go to the court behind Parliament, whilst and Parliament can be seated and will not take an action against that member of Parliament, but the person can secure. The person will secure Parliament records and can proceed to the court and say that the person was absent. I mean, these are complexities. That can come up as a result of this, and I'm not sure that can be resolved.
The provisions in our standing orders have no ambiguity whatsoever. Once you do A, B, C, D, you automatically vacate your seat. But the lawyers will go and be saying they want to do explanations, they want to do interpretation.
It doesn't operate automatically.
Let's pause it here, because again, I need to mention that we will not have time to have this conversation.
But the thing is that Honourable must settle in his mind that the rules of parliament cannot override the constitutional provision.
Let's do the military and the slaps. He's been arrested. Just quickly.
I think that I viewed that video yesterday when I was taking care of my hair and my nails and all. I got furious and very, very furious. You see, if you're a military man, if you're a security person, we should have some level of security seeing your presence. You must not become a creator of chaos and fear and panic when we see you around, when there is anybody around, when I am in an environment and I'm feeling already insecure and so forth and so on. When I see a military person, when I see the police, when I see the fire service, when I see a person in uniform, I must feel some security at the time, whether I know you or not. But when the military, because you've gone through whatever training, look at what you're doing to a young girl. I think that this one, you don't need an evidence for a lawyer to come and say, there's no evidence.
But it's still, you still need evidence, because the fact that you are seeing the person red-handed doesn't mean you are convicted straight up.
Sometimes deterrence is very important. You see, our institutions must be sanitized and discipline must actually be the way forward. I think that this guy must go through the mill and be disciplined.
Right.
Either going to jail for it and what have you that would have to do to him. Because you see, it is not good for us. It is just not good. What kind of anger is it? And I think it's 65 Ghana cedis.
Yeah.
I mean, with the greatest of respects.
It was the same point I was making. That 65 cities will not change his life, and so he should have exercised a lot of restraint. I'll not call you, because you are the security person. You have the last word.
I had to take.
Yes, because Mr. Kuti, you have the last word. I'll have Austin speak before you have the last word, because you are the security.
We've not been able to manage the relationship between civilians and the military. We've been unable to do that. And this is due to our history. The military regimes that we've had so far, they've been very antagonistic towards the civilians, and these are so this is a vestige of history.
The military days, still lingering on.
And in fact, when you see military men in town, the civilians sometimes they are scared of them. And that's why I'm saying that we've not been able to manage the relationship. In fact, when you go to other jurisdictions, their soldiers have open and have a cordial relationship with civilians, but not what we have here.
Having seen the other angles of the video, this is so wrong. So I hadn't seen this angle actually, because he chased the guy. I mean, after the first or second slap, no justification that entered, but you continue to follow the person and all of that. Mr. Kuti, you have the last word, and then I'm being told we've run out of time already.
Like I mentioned on other platforms, this is a very despicable act. But we can look at it from two lenses. I'm happy the military have swiftly arrested him. He's cooling off in the guard room as we speak. And the girl he was slapping is the daughter of a general. And she was a customer, also trying to buy medicine. And apparently was trying to tell him that, no, you can't do this. And that's resulted in whatever happened. But the good news is that this is not the first time he has done this.
Oh, really?
Yes.
He has a history of
he was a bodyguard to OJ, the former Air Force commander. And then I understand a car crossed his boss and he stopped and disciplined the driver in broad daylight. So OJ got angry and he was demoted to a corporal and sent to Tamale.
And still he's doing this.
So when he came back, he just came back. He was given this promotion 3 months ago. So the mental health issues of our troops, we don't have to lose sight of it. I see this clearly as a mental health issue.
Yeah. We need to.
Thank you very much for joining us. We have to run out of the studio so that Enyunam can come, but I appreciate you joining me. Emmanuel Koting is the executive director of, let me just get it right, I don't like you to correct me, is the executive director of the Africa Center for Security and Counterterrorism. We had David Theophilus Dominic Vondi is a member of parliament for Chifuiti Mokwa also here, and then Austin Branko Powers, private legal practitioner, joining us. And Yonam Haligan is here ready and waiting with the news update for us, after which we'll get into other matters here on normal programming on the 3FM 92.7. Many thanks for being a part of the show. We're back again on Monday.
Oh, John, never leave. I know. Some snake.